I want to first talk to you about something that I have been referring to for years as Automourn. I want to describe this to you when we're seeing it in its full glory regarding the death of Matthew Perry. I want to say this right off the bat. I devoted a series of discussions regarding that in my private, uncensored, YouTube inappropriate private channel where I can speak as to subjects that are not preferred, adult topics that are not preferred in this particular milieu. And I want to discuss this with you. First and foremost, let me see if I can explain this. No one really cares about Matthew Perry. And when I say this, it's not meant for you to take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm telling you, people don't care about anything. And they sure as hell don't care about Matthew Perry. They just don't. They don't know him. Americans don't care one way or the other. They don't care about anything. They don't care about Israel. They don't care about Palestine. They don't care about Gaza. They don't care about anything. Americans in particular do not care. They care nothing about this. Nothing, I say. Nothing. They may pretend, but they don't. Okay? All right. Now, as you know, for the most part, there are many folks that are psychosocially truncated and cut off from all existence, and the only thing they have is this thing called social media. It is their connection to the outside world. They're like the boy in the bubble. They're like this group that, never really gets outside. This is the only connection they have to the real world. That's it. And they know nothing about anything. But when it comes to Automourn, there's two types of auto, and I've been talking about this for I was trying to figure out today, about 40 years. One is auto loot. Auto loot is whenever there's a breakdown of order, no matter where it is, there are people looting. One time I saw a picture in Somalia. There was nothing in Somalia. There was nothing. It was like, I don't know what it was. They were looting. I don't know how they were looting, but it's anywhere. Anytime there's a breakdown in order, anytime there's a breakdown in police presence or law and order, people will loot. They will steal. They will rampage. They will riot. It's part of this thing that we do. It's this weird, atavistic, whatever. The other auto, in addition to auto loot, is Automourn. And this has really been exacerbated and potentiated by social media. And it works like this. Because we have lost all sense of context, because everything that we say is one superlative after another. Amazing, awesome, literally, crazy, insane. You know what I mean? Because everything is off the charts and we don't even have friends. We don't have a lot of people that die in our lives. We don't know. So when somebody dies like Matthew Perry, whether you knew anything about him, and by the way, this is not meant as a slam. I know nothing about why him. I think about the 2,300 kids that are missing every day. The people who die in wars. That I would like to talk about. That I can connect with, but not somebody who's 54 and died. I don't know why he died. It might have been a heart attack. It might have been a drug overdose. Who knows? I don't know. I'll let the experts. Or what people are saying now is they're, of course, suggesting that he died because of COVID vaccines and the like. That's what they're saying. That's the thing. Everybody's saying, oh, he was a big booster. He promoted boosters. I'm thinking, you really think that's why he died? You really think so? Immediately they're saying, well, that's why he died. How do you know that? You don't know anything. Anyway, so what people do is they will immediately just overreact. Oh my God, no words. I have no words. I'm so bereft. Oh my God, no words. Okay, no worries. So great, so young, so terrific, so what the hell? Where's my what am I doing here? Anyway, oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So crazy. So he was so great. You don't know the first thing about him? Mike Cole's doing somewhat better, by the way. Thank you for asking. You have no idea what he's done. You have no no clue about anything, but yet people are going crazy. Oh my God. He and it's Automourn. It's people to see how I can be more affected by this than you are. And it's one of these things. It's just completely overdone. It's ridiculous. You don't know Matthew Perry. You never mentioned Matthew Perry. He never came into your awareness. But all of a sudden now you're going crazy? You're losing your mind because you've lost Matthew Perry? Oh my God. Well, you know, I'm sorry. This doesn't make any sense to me, but that's me. That's me. But you can do whatever you want. You can be, not you when I say you collectively. All right, that. Next. I am convinced, and I am at the point now where I think that people just don't get excuse me, what is going on regarding Israel-Palestine and the like. I just don't think anybody really understands it. Okay? I don't think so. There is one smart ass after another, one sitting in her room with her TikTok telling you don't understand. This isn't about Palestine. This isn't about Israel. This isn't about, and they'll clarify as though you are laboring under the delusion that somehow the problems that are associated with this are a definitional confusion. Okay? That's what this is. America simply does not want to understand. And I say America because I really can't speak of the rest of the world. And I have friends of mine who are either pro-Israel or others, pro-Palestinian. And I'm saying both of you are in untenable positions. Both of you must recognize the fact that nobody is going to budge here. The only way this is going to stop is if both of you decide, all right, that's it. And some kind of coexistence is allowed to be, whether it is by virtue of, I guess you might say, a two-state solution, which will never happen, or some negotiated ceasefire or something. Gaza is going to be a parking lot, ghost town with unimaginable horror and loss that people cannot grasp. And that's the bottom line. And if you want to watch TV, you want to watch some smart ass, some snot-nosed expert tell you, well, the reason, let me explain to you, Israel was here first. You want to argue that, you go ahead. I would have loved to have seen these people during World War II. Well, you see, Hitler, after Versailles, was I don't understand this. I don't get it. I don't get any of this, but that's me. This is beyond most people's comprehension. Let me just say it right there. This is not soluble. This is not something that you're going to be able to understand or grasp if you listen to watch conventional Fox News or whatever it is. If you want to hear how great Israel is or how great Palestine is and how wrong the other side is, if that's your thing, then go ahead. You're missing the point. I want to know operationally, militarily, strategically, tactically, what are the next steps? What can we expect? What is it that we are looking for next? That is what I want to understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you follow this nonsense anymore about who's right and who's wrong, I don't know what to tell you. You're just not going to get it. You're not going to understand it. This is at an impasse. The only way this thing gets fixed, by the way, when you say fixed, to whose satisfaction? What do you think Hamas is? Hamas has more wind in their sails. They're bigger and better and badder than ever. What do you think they're going? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to what? Give up? Not on your life. Not on your life. So let me ask you something. What do you think is going to happen? You better pay attention because they're coming here to this shore. Strike that. They're already here. Rumor has it Hezbollah has already had. There are people coming through the borders who weren't even anywhere near. Where are Cubans coming from? How come Cubans were getting through? What? Do you think these are just some Venezuelan villager who made this? Hell no. Hamas is here. And once they give the signal, that's when you're going to say, oh, I see. I get it now. Right. That's exactly what's going to happen. And what are you going to have? You're going to have all these lectures on TikTok from some snotty teenager saying, well, let me give you the history of Palestine. Or some Hebraic experts saying, well, we were here first. See, this goes back to the Babylonian. Or Bibi Netanyahu will give a speech about it. And meanwhile, the whole world, we are marching into World War III. This is where we are right now. It's like you just want to live in this world, this phenomenon of just pretending that it's a matter of clarification. Once I put out the ultimate TikTok or YouTube video, the other side will absolutely understand clearly what it is that I'm talking about. Then and only then will things be better. Then and only then will there be a sense of understanding. Because the problem with the world right now is not this intractable death fight. It's I don't know what the word is. It's something else, which is a little bit different. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? And I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time because Americans don't care about this. They really don't. I mean, it doesn't affect you. It's over there. And the people who are marching, these are people who were just sort of, young folks who say, okay, I'll go march. I'll go march, whether it's, climate change or maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's something else. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll march for climate change. I'll march for abortion, maybe. But do you think most people understand what this is? Absolutely not. No. And there are other people who view this as, they have this idea of Israel because maybe they're maybe because they're Jewish or maybe they're Arab or Muslim, and they feel like they've got some dog in the fight, some skin in the game. Because of that, I don't think that's it. What do you think Automourn has to do? She's from Ethiopia, from Mogadishu, I believe. What do you think? What do you think she has in this thing? What is her connection with Palestine? What do you think it is? What do you think? Rashida Tlaib, maybe she's different, but there are people who are Muslim who have no connection whatsoever with this. There are people who are Jewish who have never been to Israel. They have no clue. And so what is your suggestion other than establishing clearly your particular involvement in the matter? We are wasting our time. America is too goddamn stupid to understand what's happening. They don't understand it. They don't get it. We pretend. All we want to see is bombs and the new cluster buster. And there's a foam. Have you seen this one? It's called the sponge foam, or it's this thing that seals off tunnels. And we're getting back to that again. We're getting back to the embedded reporter. We're talking about munitions, and it's a complete and total waste of time. My friends, this is worse than anything you've ever seen. And you have not seen suffering like this. You have no idea. And you have millions of now more displaced Palestinians, more. But you'll have Hamas now moving to different places to send their missiles off, and they will have scored yet another PR move. All right, make sure everybody's following this. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are doing everything, including focusing specifically on the message that we are providing. This is very, very critical. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell, and activate it so you're notified of new streams and the like. And now, speaking of emergency food, listen to our sponsor, actually me, talking about our sponsor. The smartest thing that you can do right now is to pay attention and listen to what I'm telling you right now. In the event of disaster, in the event of something calamitous, there are three things that are critical to survival: food, water, and energy. And I'm here to talk about the food part. And that's preparedwithlionel.com. My Patriot Supply is simply the premier food storage, emergency food storage company in the world. And they have right now a deal for you that I want you to pay attention to and avail yourself of. It's $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply kit. Now, this is what everybody should have initially, but this will get you going. This is an introductory. We're talking a 25-year shelf life, 21 varieties of the most delicious foods and drinks and snacks you can imagine. We're talking 120 pounds of food in resealable pouches with oxygen absorbers, 120 pounds of food in 6 water-resistant buckets that are modular and stacked perfectly. They're simply the smartest things you can do, the wisest thing you can do, because I'm telling you, when there's calamity, when there's shutdown, when there's martial law or tsunamis or weather or strikes or riots or whatever, stores close down. And when stores close down, food is unavailable. And when food is unavailable, people are going to go nuts. You know it and I know it. Preparedwithlionel.com. Don't think, don't review this, don't give this a lot of thought. Just do this. Go to preparedwithlionel.com and take care of this. Take advantage of this, I should say, this incredible deal that's not going to last for a long time. Preparedwithlionel.com. It's that serious. I mentioned recently 2 people that you should be paying attention to if you're interested in the history of the historical antecedents of anti-Semitism, which is most interesting. One is Peter Hayes. Write this down. Peter Hayes, I believe he was the curator of the Holocaust Museum, either the curator or the director of the Holocaust Museum, and Robert Wiener from, I think it's LaSalle University. I think he's retired. Some of the best historical, the studies, the stories of what is anti-Semitism and where it came from. Okay? It is, how do I say this? It is fascinating if you're interested in that. Most people are not. They have no interest whatsoever. Okay? None. No interest in this. And that's why the next step is going to be somebody from Hamas, whatever, say, okay, let's show them how it's done now in Cleveland. Let's pick some place, maybe New York. New York, we've had the Brooklyn Bridge, Grand Central. We've had a lot of places for the first time who were really being absolutely just bombarded by very, very loud and very, very obstreperous types who are showing everybody what's going on. Hillbilly 5, thank you, my friend. God bless you. Thank you for your kindness. Hear that? That's this. Ugh, this one car that drives me crazy. Thank you, Hillbilly. So remember, when you're talking, keep it very simple. Nobody cares about this. Nobody understands it. Nobody looks at a map. Nobody understands it. Day 21. You know, they do the usual thing. And they also are under this crazy belief that somehow, for some reason, I don't know, but they're under the belief that somehow Hamas is not powerful or important. Hamas is bigger than anything anybody's ever seen at this point. You hear what I'm saying? The world is forever and permanently changed. It's done. It's finished. Question is, you're going to find out, how has it changed? We are not the preeminent group. We are not it. We are not it. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are not it. We've never been it. Well, we maybe in the old days. We are not militarily sound. Next, if you want to find the great, there is so much wonderful stuff on the internet. So much stuff. Douglas McGregor is incredible. John Mearsheimer has been terrific. Again, Judge Napolitano has been great. The Duran, Scott Ritter, Gerald Salenti, great stuff. And not just I don't want to hear somebody either calling out Israel or calling out Palestine or Palestinians or whatever it is. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear why. Tell me tactically why. Mearsheimer and McGregor in particular, when it comes to Ukraine, there was nobody better. There was nobody better in being able to explain that. No one. But I didn't care. It's not because I had any dog in the fight. That's not it. And what's also important is that America does not want to understand this. Let me just say this again. You got to understand something. Our brothers and sisters are developmentally delayed. They're not readers. They're not thinkers. They don't like academics. They don't like research. They don't like depth. I'm sorry, but it's true. You know it. I know it. We all know it. You've got to understand this. You got to get it through your head once and for all. You must understand this. You must grasp this. So when you speak to people, speak very, very slowly. Show them a lot of pictures with big booms and loud noises and graphs. Don't show them maps. Don't show them anything other than something that's got great B-roll stuff. You will not be able to. And in fact, if you find somebody, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I said this to you or on my private channel, which I heartily endorse. I was talking about this young person I was sitting next to at an event, and I took my iPhone out, and I was pointing to different parts, pointing where things were and where they were critical and where they weren't and why they were important. Anyway, to make a long story short, she had no idea what she was talking about. Not one clue. Not one single clue as to where things were, what God was, nothing. All she knew is that if you want to march, you can march for climate change, you can march for abortion, you can meet your friends, your zillennials, and you can stand there and scream and yell about this horrible, terrible group of people called the Israelis, I guess, and you don't have to know really anything about it. Because the Israelis have points and Palestinians have points. And folks in Gaza have points. Which one do you want to listen to? What do you consider important? Where is if you want to see something ridiculous, look at Ron DeSantis, who's basically, his support of Israel is childlike. It's not even, how do I say this? It's beyond childlike. There's no reason for it. I want to know why. Tell me why. Tell me intellectually why. And you don't hear this. And the reason why is because this doesn't lend itself to the nuance. Same thing with Ukraine. Have you noticed how Zelensky now is siding, I think, with Israel? I have no idea, because he's got to side with his paymasters, and his paymasters are basically Biden and the West. So you're going to have Zelensky, who basically represents parts of Ukraine where they're, let's face it, neo-Nazis. You've seen this in the Donbass and that particular area with the right sector and the Azov battalion and everything. Not to mention with the groups from Stepan Bandera. And I know you don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter. But now I guess he's going to have to say, nobody knows what they're saying. It's just it's all about money and munitions. And we don't have the firepower. We don't have the wherewithal. We don't even have the troops to be able to handle two areas. We're not going to do anything in Israel. We have no business even being there. And most of our troops are in Eastern Europe. And that is also a waste of time. And we have, most of our troops are fat. A lot of them are children. And the idea of the American fighting force isn't here. We are not a bellicose fighting group. What we are is we are a group, we're a country that is predominantly maintained and predominantly the product of, or promotes engineering and arts and that sort of thing. That's what we want to do. So this Fox News world, as you know, doesn't exist. And the Sean Hannity world doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. They don't exist. We are a very different world. And what's happening right now is they're doing everything in their power to maintain whatever the particular fiction is that they have to speak to the audience. They are losing by the day. And I want you to go and just look very, very carefully, just kind of cursorily at the front page of the Drudge Report, just to get an idea of the cover, just to see kind of where they're going. And you're almost seeing less of a distinct, it was very, very prototypically left-wing and anti-Trump. You're seeing a difference now. Let me make it even simpler. The world is behind Palestine. The world is behind Palestinian. The world is behind Gaza. The world is not with Israel, not with the United States. It's not. Some big powers are, but the people in the street, young people, millennials, the next group, This is a PR war. And I don't mean Puerto Ricans. This is a PR war. And that particular faction is losing drastically. The message is not making it. Israel is appearing to be to the rest of the people. And I think this is not a correct depiction whatsoever of being the bully, of being this overwhelming, hyper-militaristic, bellicose, and savage overreactor. Absolutely not. Because they don't take into account the history of the like. So let me just say something. Remember this. I don't know when you're going to find out. Could be next week, could be tomorrow, could be very, very soon. But that holy shit moment is going to hit you very, very soon. And then you're really going to understand this. And you're really going to see this like you've never seen it before. You're really going to see like, wow, he was right. Because everything to now has been always over there. And the next thing for these particular groups is to make the American street turn against its government and say, if you don't tell Biden and his folks to back off this unconditional support, you're going to feel our wrath. So you're going to have people who are against, who are pro-Palestine to begin with, and then you're going to have a group of people who are just going to turn to Biden and say, shut it down, back it off. This isn't our fight. And then everything changes. And then America backs down, and America is not the force it used to be. Let me say this again to you. Maybe this might be a generational thing, but for me to tell you this, America is not America anymore. It's not. It's completely changed. It is different. It has changed in ways you cannot believe. This is never going to be the same. October the 7th is the 9/11, is everything. Everything changed. Everything. It shifted. And it's going to affect the elections, and it's going to be, and what do you think with, and everybody missed Gavin Newsom meeting with Xi Jinping. This is huge. Ron DeSantis didn't. That's going to be, and by the way, if I had to put money on it, he'll be the president because they'll fix it so that he wins. Because so many deals are being made now, it's not even funny. So many deals are being made right now. And let me also tell you something. You ready for this? Listen to me. To make it even more complicated. The person who actually this time meets and comports perfectly with the right wing, the people in power, is Trump. They want Trump. Trump will go along with him. Biden wants a Trump. Biden, they have made it very, very clear. The MIC in this country wants to go 100% full behind Israel. That's Trump. Gavin Newsom's going to have a hard time selling it to his people. Nobody's going to believe it. But Trump, they will. So isn't that something? This is how it's changed drastically. I can't tell you this enough. It's changed drastically. Trump is the guy. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you understand? Trump is now perfect. And the people who ultimately run the world are the ones who care, not about pronouns and gender changes. No. It's big money and also, if you will, power structures and money in terms of munitions and power and shifting back. The people that run the show do not want to see an MBS in charge of it, do not want to see China, do not want to see Russia. And the only way they're going to get back to a strong America is with a Trump. Because Trump's not going to sell out to China. These guys will. So let me say this again, if you've missed what I said. Biden is now seeking to make an alignment with a Trump-style candidate. And there's only one Trump-style candidate, and that's Trump. Now, do you see what I'm saying? Are you following this? This was unheard of. This is happening right now, and I don't know if Gavin Newsom or anybody can really even figure this one out. It's bigger because they want a Trump. They want a Trump being Trump. That's what they want. That's what everybody is saying from Blinken on down. And there's nobody who does that better than Trump. Gavin Newsom all of a sudden may be like, ooh, he may be too. And let me tell you something. The people who really run the show, the shadow government, care nothing about party. If it's Trump, then let it be Trump. Doesn't matter. If it's Newsom, they don't care anything about abortion. They don't care anything about Dylan Mulvaney and buy this. No, I don't care about that. That's nonsense. Equity and CEI, GI, whatever the hell it is. They don't care about that. That's just a fly in the ointment. Watch what I'm saying right now. It may not hit you right away. It may not hit you tomorrow. But remember, when you start seeing something happening in this country and the streets, then you'll pay attention. And it's coming. I'm telling you, it has to come. Because this is going nowhere. Protests are like, oh, we're getting acclimated. It's a different story. It's a different story. All right, dear friends, you have a great and a glorious day. I will be probably seeing you tomorrow. We have various events I have to attend to tonight, pursuant to certain obligations. But in any event, I thank you. Thank you for your love and your interest. And by the way, Hillbilly, thank you so much for your incredible kindness and your generosity. I appreciate that immensely. Oh, George Len says, have you noticed recently that all of the American dignitaries have traveled to China? Newsom, Yellen, Blinken, and Tim Cook. That's a statement. Oh, yes, it is, Mr. Lenz. Indeed, it is. And that's because that is the new configuration, the new world. They're going to see him. And don't believe any of this nonsense about, oh, their economy's bad and their real estate, there's a bubble. And who is like this with China? Putin. And you're going to need those folks real quick to tone down and tamp down Iran. Remember, it's over for the U.S. It's over. The only way that might change, the only way is with Trump back in business. Whether you like Trump or not, it's true. After 4 years of this jadrul, this coot, no. They're done with this because nobody makes money shorting out the country. It ain't going to work. You don't short the country. You're not going to do that. That's not what that's not what they had in mind. So, Mr. Lenz, thank you so much. Everybody have a great and glorious day. Please be careful. Follow me by the way, on X or Twitter at Lionel Media. And don't forget, follow my private channel too, where I can get more into detail and more into the psychodynamics of why we pretend to care about Matthew Perry's death. Again, it's sad, but I don't know him. I'm more interested in people in my life, my family members who are ill, and children who are disappearing every day. That's what makes me upset. That's what I think is a tragedy. Again, it's unfortunate, but I'm not going to pretend to you that my life has changed with no words and this and all that kind of jazz. Because I have a life and I have perspective and I have a connectivity to humanity that is not dependent upon some device with imaginary, quote, friends that I talk to who don't care a thing about me at all. You understand that? Good. All right, dear friends, probably see you tomorrow. Don't ever change me. That sincerely. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.